Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. First of all, I want to apologize for the lack of a haircut. I'll be going in a couple hours. Secondly, today we have a nice episode. It's kind of a double episode. We're going to finish up on the leather holster. You remember the last time I showed you a quick and easy way using homebrew material to finish off that holster, but today we're going to show you the right way if you want to do it the right way. And we also have a beautiful pair of Utica Gas and Burner Pliers that we're going to check it out. Now in 1895, the Utica Tool and Forge Company was established by the White brothers. By 1907, a huge fire destroyed the factory, but when they rebuilt, they decided to focus more primarily on their plier line, and they developed some new models. And this is one of the models they developed. Okay, real quick, people were asking me last time when I did the leather working, how I could, if they want to do a really nice job on it, what's the correct way to do it? I gave you a down and dirty way to protect the leather with the 50-50 mix last time, but the proper way to dye your leather, if you want to dye it, is to use this, I like this Feeblings. It's a oil dye, and you got to be very careful. Always wear gloves because this stuff won't come off. But before you use that, you have to deglaze whatever you're doing. There's a little bit of a, hand oils or whatever from handling it. So what I use, I have a 90% mix of isopropyl alcohol here, and I spray down the leather, and you'll see it'll darken it as you do it because it's, it's darkening. It's just a darkening. Any kind of fluid you put on leather will absorb into it. So I'm just giving a quick coating, but it'll dry real quick. So what you do is you wipe it off. Make sure you wipe off any of the, that's called deglazing, right? And you can see it's already drying here on the top, but it will dry very fast because it's 90%. But what you do is, while this is still on here, before it's totally dry, is you take, this is called the Dauber. It's a wool applicator for dye. And this is Saddle, the color. And you just wipe it on here. Now, the alcohol is already absorbed, but you see what we're doing? Wiping it on here, all the way around, and this will dye. This is how you dye your leather. And I'll show you this in high speed, and we'll come back. Now, here I am in my attic, and let me tell you something. You don't get to see this a lot of times, but you'll never know what you see up here. I mean, there's all kinds of strange things, and we got some missing people and whatnot. Here's my leather bench in the attic, and you can see I have a lot of supplies. I have probably about 2 cows worth of leather over there, and tooling and whatnot, and then some practice projects. These are things how you do your practicing when you're going to do any kind of stamping on leather, some custom designs and whatnot. And this is how you basically just practice. This was a tattoo. A friend of mine wanted me to draw up a tattoo for him. He actually got a tattoo of this. And they're big into oak leaves. We had contests and whatnot to try and make the most realistic oak leaves and animals and things like that. But now we're getting to the point where we're going to cover the leather. We have it dyed. And what we want to do is we want to make the leather so the dye doesn't rub off on you. Now remember, we were talking about that's Neesford oil. Then we have Lexol, and we have a Sedgwick is it's like a balm that you can put on leather. Obviously, old-fashioned saddle soap. That's a lacquer coating. Some more Lexol. We also have acrylic coating we could put on, and we have to decide what we want to put on. Okay, if you remember, this is the plier case we did with the 50-50 Vaseline and mineral oil, and you could see it's flexible, it's nice, whatever, but this is, again, the down and dirty type. Now, you see, this color is much more rich. I love the saddle color, and this is just the dye, and you see the dye tends to stiffen it up a little bit. It's a little bit stiffer because the dye has that property to it. And if you remember, this one here is a untouched holster, and you can see the difference in the color. So now what we're going to do is we're going to protect it so this don't rub off on you. But not that it will, but if it gets wet, it could rub off. We got to put a coating on here. I'm going to use this from England. My friends over there in the UK probably heard of this. And basically it's like a balm, and it's got beeswax, it's got some oil, some lard, things like that. And we're going to put this in here and rub it on using just my hands. Now, if you don't want your fingers smelling like lard, I suggest you wear gloves. Okay, it's been a couple hours, and you can see that the balm, the Sedgwick balm that we used, has absorbed into the leather, softened it up a little bit and whatnot. Now what you do is you have to buff it out. What I like to do is I take a just some paper towel, and what you're going to do is you're going to rub this and create, it's going to almost like a burnish it. And by going back and forth a little bit quick, you can see the shine that comes up. And I'll show you this in high speed. Okay, today we have these absolutely beautiful NOS, new old stock, Utica, from the 3 diamond, you can see the logo, Utica. These are 1300-8, 8 stands for 8 inches. These are gas burner or engineer pliers, and you can see they have, it's just that the setup is beautiful. It also has the front that you can grip a round stock in the front, grip round stock here, you can grip square stock in the middle. Just a beautiful pair. The problem is that there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that some of the finish got a little bit of tarnish on here, and we're going to take that off. This is a real quick one. Let's do it. Now, like I said, these pliers really didn't need anything. We just gave them a quick wire brushing. Then afterwards, we wiped it down with denatured alcohol, gave it a good wipe down, and then covered it with shellac, a nice coat of shellac, and put on the furnace and let it dry. Okay, we're calling these pliers done. Really, there was nothing we had to do with them other than just put a nice coating of shellac on there, and just a wire brush. Make sure none of the rust is really informing in there. And you can see the teeth. You can see the teeth in the front and how this grips, and how everything is just so beautiful. Let me show you how these work. These were considered like a light-duty plumbing plier. And let me show you. Okay, here we have some typical round stock that you might want to grab, and you see these jaws are perfectly suited for that. And when you grip it, no matter where you get about 60% grip onto the pipe. So it is very good for round surfaces like that. And you have a smaller area in the bottom. Now, if you had some smaller diameter round, you could see that the smaller jaws would work perfectly on there, getting a really good grip. Probably more like 75% of the area will be surrounded by the jaws. Another interesting part is that if the square section here, which you don't see on a lot of gas burner pliers, but they do have it on some, a lot of gas valves had a square shank on the end, and you could easily put this on top of the square and get a really good purchase, because you see how much of that it grips, and you could use it that way. So these pliers really came in handy. Let me show you what that front quick demonstration of how pliers with your gripping and end grip. Now, if I take a standard pair of pliers and I grip a piece of wood or anything metal like this, and I squeeze down hard, you could see that the serrations left by the jaws of the pliers, these are running perpendicular to the stock, which they're going to slide along the edge of the stock, and you know that's not going to be a good grip. The gas and burner pliers, with the way the jaws are set up, if I put it in here and give it a squeeze, you could see that the serrations are parallel to the stock, which will give you a much better grip, much better turning capacity. So the reason we did the holster is because I was looking for a holster for those pliers, and look how nice this came out, huh? I mean, this is just a beautiful, warm, a deep color, and it's finished. You can always dress this up with some neutral or clear shoe polish, you know, but this is just the way I like it. And these pliers, you can see, fit just perfect in there. Look at that. Is that a nice setup, or is it's a match made in heaven, so to speak? And if you look at here, if you grab it here and then pull it out and then push it here, you could see it goes all the way down, you know. So these pliers, once they're seated in here, they ain't going anywhere. They're not falling out, you know. It's a nice setup. So that's why I did the leather with this set of pliers today. So there we have the leather holster and the Utica 1300-8. These are the 8-inch model gas and burner pliers. I really appreciate you sticking around. Thanks very much. Have a nice day.